Good evening, everyone. This is Kanishka, the editor of Professional Beauty India, and I welcome you all to PB Quarren Live presents Young Guns 2.0. In the second season of Young Guns, we have been bringing you some of the most talented young artists across categories of hairdressing, makeup artistry, and skin expertise, so that you get to know how they got started in this industry, how they found their pathways, how they managed to make their way up, and how they became success stories. So throughout this week, if you have been with us, you have met some amazing personalities already, and there are a few more that are still lined up. So stay tuned with us as we bring to you more and more aspiring stories from the beauty industry in India. And if you have missed any, don't worry. All you have to do is follow us on social media, watch their interviews on IGTV, or you can visit us on our Facebook page and see the live recordings that we have done of their sessions, the look and learn sessions. And if you want to read about them, then you can visit professionalbeauty.in, and we have all the reports of their sessions posted there on our website. So please don't miss out on any of these exciting personalities that we are bringing to for you. We are trying to get them to you through all the possible platforms, and you will definitely find them on our website. And something else that you'll find on our website is the schedule for upcoming weeks. So stay tuned with us. We are trying to bring you the best of information, knowledge, and updates that the Indian salon industry has to offer. Well, for this particular live session, I'm going to invite Yashvardhan Killa from Head Turners Academy to join us and discuss his take on training and education and how he found his mojo in it. So stay tuned as I join him in this conversation. So Yash is the training director of Head Turners Academy, and he's an educator. Hi,
Hello. Good evening.
how are you doing, Yash?
Doing good, ma'am. Very good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining us today on this session. It's lovely
Thank
to
you for
have you
inviting
here.
me.
Great. So, Yash, we have a lot of viewers out there who are, aspiring to be part of the beauty industry. They are outside of the industry now. They're looking at how glamorous it is and how wonderful it is, and they want to join, but they don't know how. So let's start with your own story. आपने कहाँ से शुरू की? आपने कैसे शुरुआत की? शायद आपकी स्टोरी सुनकर उनको भी आइडिया आ जाए कि इस इंडस्ट्री में पहला कदम कैसे रखते हैं.
Okay, so my story is a bit unique one. Why is
Okay.
that? Because I am from a Marwadi family,
Okay.
and in my entire family is into management studies,
Right.
management or other science.
Okay.
Hairdressing was the mainstream job for us.
Okay.
But then I took the bold step after my college
Mm-hmm.
to go into hairdressing. What led to this was the city of Mumbai.
Okay.
So after my graduation, I did my graduation from a college in Mumbai in Vileparle.
Okay.
After that, I moved to L'Oreal Earth Academy in Lower Parel.
Hmm.
They have a 6 months program over there.
Yeah.
That was like a hit and trial method for me, and that hit and trial method worked very well for me, and I fell in love with this profession. And then I took the bold step. I had to face my grandmother because obviously she has orthodox views.
Yeah.
So that was a bold decision for me, and I got support from my father and mother as well with this. That was
Okay.
how I joined hairdressing.
Right. That is definitely a unique story. A lot of people, because of their orthodox views, don't want to step into this profession.
Yes.
But it's high time now that this point of view changes. And a lot of people are recognizing this as a very lucrative career option. So I'm sure if they are watching you now, they will definitely opt for this profession because it is something that will take you places. So you said that your first training was with Earth at the L'Oreal Academy. Can you tell us a bit more about the kind of training you have taken to become a hairdresser?
Okay, so the first day at Earth Academy was like either you can say a person coming out of a cave into a new world, or a person going into a new cave, a new totally environment.
Yeah.
So the first in the academy was a very challenging day for me, and the first month, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then really the team, Ajay sir from L'Oreal and his entire team, they helped me a lot during my entire course. I was having a lot of trouble with a simple task like blow dry, just a straight blow dry. Even they helped me, they held my hand and then they helped me do each and everything
Okay.
precisely.
तो अर्थ में क्या क्या सिखाया जाता है, क्या आप बता सकते हैं?
तो अर्थ में हम लोग को राइट फ्रॉम द बेसिक्स
या
बेसिक्स एज उसमें टेक्निकल भी है एंड थियोरी भी है. टेक्निकल जो आपके हेयर स्टैंड्स के बारे में है, हेयर साइंस एंड कलर का जो बेसिक थियोरी है.
या
अपार्ट फ्रॉम theory में we had an abundance of models to work on. So that
Okay.
was a benefit I got from L'Oreal Earth Academy. They have an abundance of models to work on, and so that we can uh, like work on models and get our hands clean. Because obviously, in the first try, it was very difficult for us. That was a
Right.
very good advantage.
Right. Any particular reason why you chose Earth? Like there are so many academies and so many hairdressers also who are offering courses. Why Earth?
Why Earth Academy? Because from the research I had done, they have the longest course for hairdressing in India. That is
Okay.
6 months.
Okay.
And I knew that I had to go from the basics. So that is why I chose Earth Academy. I had plans for abroad, going to abroad as well, but that was after I learned the basics from India first.
Okay. And so did you go abroad for further studies?
So that was my plan to go this year, but right
Oh,
now, as you can see, I'm locked inside my home.
yes, yes. Unfortunately, all of our plans have gone haywire, but I'm sure next year you are able to make it, and it would be wonderful to get to know your experience of studying hairdressing abroad as well. So, what happened after you finished your art course? Did you get a job right away? What kind of work did you do?
So after my Earth course, so father and Sameer sir are all are good friends in the industry.
Okay.
So I had a chance to work in JCB, which is a renowned salon
Yes.
across India.
Yes.
So I got a chance to work over there to see what the fashion industry has to show to me in
Yeah.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
Because Mumbai is the fashion city of India, and there is no limit to fashion in Mumbai. So
Yeah.
I was very fortunate to work under Sameer sir and his entire team.
Right.
Apart from that, I would like to add one thing for the first question was like, why did I choose hairdressing?
Yeah.
So uh, my father has been in this business for the past 20 years now. We have expanded a lot across East India.
Right.
So when I used to go to my salon back in my childhood, I used to go there as a normal kid and just see everything fancy happening everywhere. People are enjoying, people are laughing, and then there is transaction as well. There is exchange of money as well, as in payments and
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
I was really excited by the idea of making someone happy and then getting paid for that as well. So that was there in my some subconscious mind. Maybe that also triggered for me
Yeah.
to choose option of getting into
Yeah,
hairdressing.
you were very observant as a child, I must say, because yes, people can see money is exchanging hands, and you know that okay, there's a lot of money in the salon business, but the happiness that you give in exchange of that money is invaluable. You're very right. Like people are so thrilled when they get a new haircut or a new hair color and see the makeover, and that's the magic that only hairdressers can do. So I totally agree with your subconscious there, and I'm really glad that it helped you in making that decision. So, okay, working as a hairdresser is one thing, but being an educator is a completely different thing. So, how did you discover your passion for being an educator?
So being an educator, I got the inspiration from two people in
Yeah,
my entire journey. First one is Seema Jirajani ma'am.
right.
I did my hairdressing course from her. She's obviously a renowned person globally now, obviously.
Yes, yes.
So I had done two classes with her, and the way she taught inspired me to teach more, to spread my education to at least to my team, which is my salon team.
Okay.
And the other person was there is a guy named Arif. So last year, Vela Academy invited Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah.
They invite every guest. So I had done the ABC level 1 and the barbering course,
Okay.
and Aris was who had come from London.
Right.
So what he taught me was obviously very helpful, very very helpful. But apart from that, the way he taught me was very impressive.
Right.
I fell in love with his teaching,
Okay.
and I met another legendary person in my barbering course, which was Aduna ma'am. She was there with her team
Yeah.
for that course. So I met her for the first time over there.
Right. So all these mentors, all these stalwarts from the industry, जिनको हिंदी में कहें तो दिग्गज हैं ये इस इंडस्ट्री के, इन लोगों ने आपको इंस्पायर किया है. So you are definitely on the right track there. Yes, education is big, but how big is it right now, given the whole COVID-19 situation that we have, the lockdown situation? How important has training and education become?
So right now, let me tell you about the night before we reopened, which
Yeah.
was the night 23rd.
Yeah.
We opened on 24th, and the night of 23rd, it was like we are opening a new salon again, a new industry again. The mind pressure was so much
Yeah.
that लोग salon खोल रहे हैं and क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, clients आएंगे, नहीं आएंगे. There were a trillion questions on our mind.
Yeah.
And but we had that positivity in our mind, and we took the leap of faith, what you can say, and we
Yes.
opened 3 of our branches. We did not open all of them at once.
Yeah.
We opened 3 of our selected branches.
Right.
We took appointments beforehand so that obviously we know that yes, these are coming. And then gradually we opened the other branches.
Okay. How many branches do you have in all?
So the Killa family has 40 plus salon branches,
Okay.
including franchisees all across East India.
Right. And what is your profile like currently?
So currently, right now, I am at home. I am making sure my entire team is getting the best education from the various brands. So Head Turners is a multi-branded salon. So we use a variety of products.
Yeah.
So we have the benefit of L'Oreal, Vela, Cadiview, Rusk, many other brands.
Right.
So that is the benefit we get, and that is the benefit we then shifted to our team.
Yeah.
So there were many online courses throughout the lockdown, which we imparted to our entire team.
Okay. So as the training director, it is your responsibility to keep the team trained and to pass on whatever training that you are receiving from the brands.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Yes.
also, since you are an academy, you must also be curating your own courses, right?
Yes, we do have our own course. Academy is already running, and it was running for the past 7 years, I guess, running
Okay.
smoothly. So I am just an additional person to give my inputs over there right
Okay.
now.
Okay. So
Obviously, right.
what is the thing with the academy right now because of lockdown? Have you started the academy too?
So right now, the central government has not given permission for any educational institutions to open until 10th of August.
Okay.
So right now, they are closed.
All right. So are you doing any trainings online for non-staff members, for your students?
Yeah, we are doing online trainings for our existing batchmates.
Okay.
We're not taking new admissions right now,
Yeah.
but obviously we have taken the responsibility of our existing batchmates who
Okay.
had joined before lockdown. So we are continuing with their classes.
Right. So, Yash, you have also been part of the whole business development aspect of salons since
Yes.
you are your group has so many salons under its wing. Then obviously you have seen all the different aspects of the whole salon business. So, according to you, in the given situation, what ways can a salon expand? Not expand really, but make the most of the business opportunities that are there right now.
Right now, taking into consideration the entire situation globally,
Yeah.
so Kolkata, to be specific, not even East India, because Northeast is also in a doldrums right now.
Huh.
Kolkata, to be specific, is in like a lucky. Kolkata is lucky to open their salons
Yeah.
full-fledgedly. And what we have done is that our main motive is to invite footfalls in
Right.
our salon. Why?
Right.
Because right now the client is scared to get out of their home and to
Absolutely.
go to any salon.
Yeah.
So right now, our primary motive is to build client confidence.
It's actually $1 million question. How do we do that?
So how we did that? We had done just a second. I think yeah, it's stable now.
Yeah.
So to build client confidence, what we had done is we had done online digital campaigns throughout the lockdown.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I personally had done my entire team's homework. In my entire team's homework, as in I had done my research on how to take precautions against COVID-19 to spread COVID-19. I
Yeah.
attended many seminars by obviously many brands like L'Oreal, Bella, etc. Also, I attended many seminars by many doctors across India.
Right.
Obviously, doctors will be able to tell a bit more than any other brand.
Certainly. Yeah.
So I had attended those seminars, and then I made sure that my entire team, before opening,
Yeah.
was imparted that knowledge. Why? Because so that if any client questions us that why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why not that? Why not this? So my team can explain the client that yes, ma'am, this is yes, ma'am, or sir, this is the reason why we are doing it. So that everything we do is can be justified. It is not done
Absolutely.
without any reason. That is the main reason.
Right. That's a very intelligent move on your part, actually, doing your research thoroughly, doing your homework properly, so that no matter what question the client is putting to you or your staff, they're able to come up with a foolproof answer. Because even a slight glitch in your answer or a chink in your armor, and they will not come back. That is a possibility. So you have to be very sure that your measures are also in place and your answers are also in place. Right. So,
I'll just add one thing to
yes.
this. I
Yes.
like my so what I did was before opening, I wanted to test everything from my own perspective,
Yeah.
as in a simple thing as a blow dry. Now
Yeah.
wearing gloves was difficult to do each and everything. So I
Yes.
told my team start practicing, just practicing with scissors, wearing a glove, so that when they join, they get a hang to it.
Yes.
Apart from that, second thing, what I did on the first day we opened was that I myself did a blow dry on one of our team members, and then I noticed that earlier we had latex gloves, so
Yeah.
wearing latex was leading to a problem like in managing the hair while
Yeah.
doing a blow dry.
Yeah.
Instantly, instantly we took the decision to order nitride gloves, which is
Right.
much more smoother.
Yes.
So that was the thing. We made an instant change for the betterment of our staff, for the betterment of our staff.
Right. So, tell me something now. Because of all these measures, there must be an increase in the cost for the salons also, because you
Yes.
need to add so many things from masks to gloves. There are additional costs. So, how can salons manage that right now?
For that, obviously, we have levied additional hygiene and safety charges, but that is over the menu charges, and
Okay.
that will be withdrawn once everything is back to normal.
Okay, so you have passed on certain charges on to the customer to accommodate it. That's one way of doing it, certainly. There is all these guidelines that you have, like you did your research, plus BWSSC had released their guidelines, and a lot of other organizations had also come up with it. Now, all those guidelines in theory is one thing, but doing it practical is a completely different ballgame, like you discovered with the gloves. So, how did you
Yes.
ensure that everything that those guidelines say is taught to the staff in real time?
For that, what we had done was we invited all our top directors of all our branches
Yeah,
once to one of our branches, and we did a training. I did the training personally for all of them,
yeah,
and then the top directors had the responsibility to pass on that information to the entire branch, because It's not possible for me to visit all the branches in one single day.
Right.
That would take time. So to fasten up that, I taught the top directors, and then they passed on that information to their team, to their branch.
That's excellent. So that's one way of dealing with this whole thing. If you are running a salon chain, delegate the responsibility with your salon managers or your directors so that they take the onus of the responsibility on themselves. One more thing that is bothering me about the whole staff management thing is, yes, measures have to be followed. Safety and hygiene is top priority. But what about their morale? Like, after coming out from lockdown, say for 2 to 2.5 months, and then not being certain if the customer will come back to the salon, there's a lot of uncertainty, and the staff, the employees must be facing some sort of dip in their morale also. So how did you manage them with that? Like, emotional aspect, how did you manage that?
So to combat the emotional aspect, we had done two, three things. First
Yeah.
of all was uh, during the first few weeks, we invited our team members who have their own two-wheelers or four-wheelers, mostly
Okay.
two-wheelers.
Yeah.
So invited only them so that they do not have to travel via public transport.
Right.
Also, we made sure that our, as in the housekeeping team,
Yeah.
we did not stop their salaries at all throughout the lockdown as well. Why? Because they live on each and every meal or each and every day. So we did
Yeah.
not stop their income. Apart from that, we had obviously uh, sliced a bit of income of the other staff.
Yeah.
But then what benefit we gave them was we have given them the option to take a group insurance
Okay.
that will cover a sum of up to 2 lakhs of hospital charges.
Right.
That is one option we had given them, and many of them have opted for that, in which partly it is paid by the company and partly it is paid by the staff himself or herself.
Okay, that is very interesting, and it's a very much needed move. I'm sure if there are salon owners in the audience right now, they would like to implement this group insurance, and especially for hospitalization is a excellent idea. And I congratulate you on this, Yash, for thinking of this,
Because
especially.
right now,
Yes.
yeah, because right now, ma'am, the hairdresser or beautician won't understand the value of that insurance, but if something
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
then
In
they
due
will
course of
realize.
time, they will get the benefit of it, and it's something they might not do on their own because it's coming from you as an employer. They will value it more. That's for sure. Okay, now going back to the whole business development part of it. Now that salons are open in most parts of the country, and the initial uncertainty is waning off. Maybe some of them are even getting regular clients. What can salons really do to expand their business development? Like, what all revenue aspects, funnels do you have right now?
For that, what we have instructed all our managers is that to make sure that the client who comes to our salon is not free at any point of time. By
Okay.
free, I mean, let's say she has come for a touch up. So during the waiting time of 40 minutes or 35 minutes, that time she is free.
Yeah.
That should be used to convert her for a maybe a quick facial or a cleanup or maybe a manicure or
Okay.
anything else. That's
Okay.
one thing we have done to promote business in our salon.
Okay. What about retail? How are you tackling retail?
So retail, yes, just before we opened, we had started our online selling,
Yeah.
and we got huge amount of orders from our staff. So obviously, because for the past 2 months they were maxed out with their stock.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for us, and that helped us with the cash flow to run our business.
Yeah, that's a move that a lot of salons have been doing. But yes, you are right. The time that they're spending inside the salon has to be maximized. So if your client is doing getting her hair color done, then it might as well offer her a nail service or a mani pedi and try to make the most of it. Because I'm sure after her key service is over, she will not want to spend more time in the salon. She would be eager to go out. Okay, so very quickly, what are the measures that you are currently following in the salons? Safety measures, I mean.
So currently, the safety measures, the moment the client comes in front of the gate of a salon, he does
Yeah.
not enter a salon, she or he.
Hmm.
Before entering, her temperature is checked.
Right.
First of all, her temperature is checked. If it is normal, then she walks in and then the entire sanitization process takes place. But if the temperature is above normal or below normal, we tell them to wait for 5-7 minutes because it might be due to the increase in body temperature because of the outside heat.
Yeah.
We check again, and then again if it is abnormal, we request them to take
Come
safe
back. Yeah.
to come back after 1 week and to
Yeah.
take rest.
Right.
So once she or he enters the salon, the entire sanitization is done. Gloves and masks are provided, and shoe covers are provided, which is a very basic normal thing right now.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we are providing now totally disposable kits, and we have made separate kits for the entire for all the services.
Okay.
And the moment the service starts, before the service starts, the entire place is sanitized, and we have instructed the hairdresser or the beautician to sanitize their tools and the area in front of the client.
Yeah.
I have told him repeatedly that even if you have done it just 5 minutes before, you will have to do it again because right now is the time to gain client confidence, and this is
Yes.
how you will win client confidence.
Absolutely. Doing it in front of them, even changing your gloves and mask in front of the client will give them that much needed confidence. Yash, it was fantastic talking to you, and you have answered all my questions in such detail. There is a very interesting question that has come up from the audience. Take it only if you want to. Sujay Thapa wants to know, how much was your first paycheck as a hairdresser?
So right now, I was earlier interning in JCB.
Yeah.
So that was minimum amount, very minimum amount. And
Yeah.
after that, I have my own business. So that is just drawings from my own company. So there
Right.
is not been a, let's say, a salary till date.
Okay, so you are a few of the lucky ones who doesn't get to draw a salary, but has a whole pie to himself. So, but tell me something: if a newcomer comes to the industry after interning, how much can they expect? I think that's what this gentleman means. He wants to know how much to expect.
Okay. So right now the market is very varied,
Yeah,
as in salons who will provide you a good amount to join their salon because obviously there are many stars which have gone back to their hometown.
yeah,
You have to select your salon which you are applying to,
yeah.
and I think for a city in Kolkata, the roughly average salary of a hairdresser must be around 40,000 maybe
Okay.
for a mid-level hairstylist,
Yeah, so that's
not a
like a
start, not a
yeah,
creator.
like a ballpark figure would be 40K.
Yeah.
Great. Yash, any advice that you would like to give to aspiring hairdressers?
So for aspiring hairdressers, for a person who is new to this industry like me,
Yeah,
who has come from a totally different background, you need to be open-minded. You need to be open-minded because there is a lot in this industry to learn, and you need to be open-minded. You will get the definition of that once you join,
yeah,
once that person joins. And for the person who's already into this profession and who is taking higher skills
yeah.
sets for that. So what I have learned is that do not let your confidence overpower your skills. That is
Okay,
one thing I learned from my personal experience. And with that is that you need to have a eye to learn
right,
always.
right,
Be it from anyone. Be it from anyone. It may be from the manager, from the top director, from a junior stylist, from just a beginner, from anyone.
right.
That are the
So you really need to be open-minded in all possible ways, especially with regards to learning, and you need to value your talent above your confidence, is what you're saying.
yes.
Okay, one last thing, Yash. You have been playing multiple roles now in the industry within your organization. You started off as a hairdresser, now you're an educator, you've even dabbled in salon development. So, which of these roles do you enjoy the most and why?
Which of these roles, the days when I was learning
Yeah,
as a student,
yeah,
those were the best days, obviously, because it was a new skill for me.
yeah.
But speaking professionally, I personally enjoy being a trainer. Why? Because I love sharing my own knowledge to
Okay.
anyone. It may be a dresser, it may be my servant, it may be anyone. So the teaching skill is inborn in me, and I like to share, be it hairdressing or be it soft skills. I like to share things with everyone. That is one thing I enjoy.
That's fantastic, Yash. And on that very positive note, we shall end this conversation. It was fantastic having you in this live session, and I loved all your answers. And thank you for replying to them in such great detail.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Good day.